I'm Julia.
I'm Angela.
And today we're going to share with you a little bit more about Elta. What we're going to share with you is an overview as well as the current supply and demand in Clementi, Elta's slides plan and views, the estimated launch day pricing, as well as the layout analysis and unit selection, and lastly, your exit strategy.
So first, let's go to the overview of Elta. It's a joint venture by MCL Land and CSC Land. It consists of 2 towers of 39 story and make up of 501 units.
And it comes with a 3-story multi-story car park.
Okay, so the TOP, right, is actually looking at 2029 first quarter on paper. So maybe slightly earlier. Yeah.
Angela, have you seen condo developments with multi-story car park?
Yes, there is. Like, give you some example, like Midwood, and we also have like Park Rivera. But of course, most of the time is basement car park. So maybe buyers, just to take note that it will not be a basement, the car park that is directly linked to your units.
So you need to have very strong arms so you can carry all your groceries from the car park all the way to your house. So the developers for Elta are CSC Land and MCL Land, and they came in at a bid price of 1250 PPR, and this is only 4.3% above the second bidder, which was a joint venture between CDL, Fraser's Property, as well as Sekisui. These are the same consortium that actually bid for the ORI. However, this one CSC and MCL Land came in first. So for the gap to be only 4.03% is actually very, very healthy, which means all these different developer firms, they do price the value of the land in this area to be roughly around the same price.
Let's take a look at MCL Land. It's actually a Hong Kong developer. So recent one, they have launched Tembusu Grand and Nava Grove as well.
CSC Land, some of you may know, they're from the China Construction Group. They have recently completed Resale as well as Twin View. So both these developers are from Hong Kong and China respectively, and they do have a very, very big portfolio of developments under their belt. Moving on to the unit mix, we have the 1+ study and the 2-bed 1-bath. This actually takes up 22% of the overall unit mix. Then we have the 2-bed 2-bath, which is called the 2-bed premium, and the 2+ study. That takes up 21% of the overall unit mix. And for your bigger units, your 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom, and 5-bedrooms, which are typically for own stay owners, it takes up 57% of the overall unit mix.
So Julia, you've realized that in this development, right, is something very interesting is that at most of the developments, right, 3 bedrooms are usually the more percentage for like, developers who actually give more percentage for 3-bedroom types. But at Elta, right, actually you can see that the 4-bedroom types, right, it can actually have more bedroom types and consists of more percentage.
Let's see. 3-bedroom, we have 72 plus 36, so that's a total of 108 for 3-bedroom units.
Yeah.
For the 4-bedroom units, we have a total of 143. So actually, it's very, very rare. You're right. It's very, very rare for a development to have so many 4-bedroom units. And of course, you also have the 5-bedroom units. But the amount of 5-bedroom units is actually quite in line with many developments where it doesn't take up a large percentage of the overall unit mix. But for Elta, the 4-bedroom takes up 143 out of 501 units, and it actually takes up quite a large majority of the unit mix here.
Yeah, so I think the reason, right, for why that for the developer to actually do it this way, right, I think it's because Clementi being a very mature town, and the demand, right, for big units, right, from the HDB itself, upgraders itself, right, okay, is very high, and hence I think that's why that they have actually this type of adjustment of the percentage.
Yeah, I agree. So a lot of these future buyers for Elta will come from the HDB upgraders, and because they're already used to having 2 to 3 bedrooms in their house, or they come from a 5-room flat, which is essentially like a 3-bedroom plus a study. For it to feel like an upgrade, a 4-bedroom unit will fit into their needs very, very nicely.
Yeah. So moving forward, let's first take a look where Elta actually is. Okay, located along the Clementi Avenue 1, which is next to Claiborne over here and Clement Canopy over here. And we actually, for the north facing, we are actually facing Nanhua School, and the southern side, we actually will be facing the AYE over here. So straightforward, the plan is actually two block of 39 story. So this one will be the northern side, and actually here will be the southern side.
The question on everyone's mind is how close is Elta going to be to the AYE? Because even though your view is going to be very nice, you're going to be facing AYE. So the setback for the units from Elta is roughly around 52 to 55 meters from AYE. And to just give you a rough idea, for Clermont itself, how much is the setback again?
I think about 85 meters. Yeah.
So this will definitely be closer to AYE. So if you want to get a rough feel about how the noise is going to be like, go and view a unit in either Clermont or Clement Canopy.
I think Clement Canopy is quite a close, almost the same distance as Elta, as you can see from the plan.
So for Elta, there are two different views, either the north view or the south view.
For the south view, you will see the sea, and although it's facing AYE, but it will really look very nice because of the landed and the sea. I would say most of the units will be unblocked. Moving forward, we have the northern view, which is facing Bukit Timah, and this one will be more blocked because we have actually the HDBs in front of us along Clementi Avenue 1.
And this is actually the view that you'll be getting from the roof. So for this north view, you will definitely have some blockages in terms of your view. So these are some of the perspectives which have been done up by the architects. So one thing to note is that the units start from level 5. And then here you have your facilities. So your first residential unit will start from level 5. As Elta is located in Clementi, it is surrounded by amenities. So you can see that we are all in walking distance towards a lot of hawkers and markets. Staying in Clementi, most of the buyers and most of the homeowners will stay for around 10 to 12 years because you'll start off in primary school and you have a long list of primary schools to choose from. Then you move on to secondary school, you have your Nanhua High School, you have NUS School of Math and Science. Then moving on to tertiary, you'll be able to go to Singapore Poly and all your universities are nearby as well. So if you're a homeowner with children that are growing up in Clementi, likelihood of you staying here will be very long. And if you're looking to rent out your units to expats or lecturers, you do have a long list of international schools here, which are also nearby to Elta. Like I said just now, 6 years of primary school, 4 years of secondary school, then you move on to JC or Poly, then university. You're looking at around 16 to 17 years of homeowners that actually stay on and hold on to their property. So you do have a demand that is very inelastic, and you always have new buyers who want to come in because they have school-going children going to schools in the area.
Yeah, so actually you can, from here, right, we can see that all the bigger room types, right, is actually very high in demand because families are growing. Bigger units will be actually much in higher demand.
There are a total of 6 developments in Clementi, but the age difference is actually quite big. So we have Faber Crest and Regent Park, and these 2 developments were completed in 2001 and 1997. Prior to that, there were no other condo developments in Clementi. Subsequently, we have these 4 which were launched in 2012, 16, 19, and 2019 as well.
So the supply, you can see, right, that actually just Clementi itself, right, there's only these 6 developments, and total it only consists of about 4,000 units. So these 4,000 units, I believe, is not enough, right, to just for the Clementi, the residents, right, to actually upgrade themselves from HDBs to the condo itself. Right? Let's take a look. HDB website. As we can see that there's 26,727 flats in the under the estate of Clementi.
So if you take 26,000 as of 2018, so this doesn't include those which are currently being built as BTOs.
Yeah.
So if we take about 10 to 15% of these units here who actually want to upgrade to the nearby condominiums, we're looking at about maybe 3,000 flats, 3,000 upgraders who want to upgrade. And you know that the current supply in Clementi is only about 4,000, and there cannot be a possibility that 75% of this 4,000 flats, 4,000 condos will be
selling
up
at the
for sale.
same time.
So you can see that there's a really a very low supply of private developments in Clementi, and there's actually a demand for it.
Yeah, with Elta coming in another 500 units, so add up to like maybe 4,500. I think that is still definitely not enough to just for the supply for Clementi, the Clementi residents itself. Putting aside like other people like from Jurong East or from other estates that nearby that will want to come closer to town.
So is there really a demand for buyers wanting to buy into a unit in Clementi? Let's take a look at the performance of Clement Canopy as well as Clevon on launch weekend. So out of the 250 units which were launched on launch weekend, 200 were taken up by the buyers for Clement Canopy. And for Clevon, 70% of the units were actually taken up on launch weekend by buyers in Clementi, just on launch weekend itself. So you can see that the demand for units here in Clementi is actually very high. While there's a demand, the next big question is, can I sell it off at a good profit? Let's take a look at the performances of the 3 newest developments in Clementi.
Okay, first we can actually Clevon, which actually just TOP last year. So you can see they make a very good profit of 906,000. And the next one, which is Park Clementi's, which is the second newer one, is the TOP in 2023. So they have also made very good profit, like average of 800 over 1,000. For Clement Canopy, which TOP in 2019 and next to Elta, you can see the average profit is also average about 800,000 as well.
So the biggest question, how much is Elta going to be estimated to be launched at? So we've done a little bit of estimates and you'll see.
Average per floor drum will be about 5,000 to 10,000. Okay, so looking at the first floor, which is at level 5 or the residential floor, we are looking at about average 2,002 to 2,003 per square feet. Climbing up to level 20, we might be looking at 2,003 to 2,004. And moving up to 37th floor, which is almost the top floor, we are looking at about average 2,007 to 2,008 per square feet. That's looking at a floor jump of 5,000 to 10,000 per floor jump, based on the different unit types.
So now we're going to look at the layout analysis as well as unit selection to help you to decide which unit to go for and which units to avoid. Starting with the 1-bedroom units, we have 36 units in total, only 1 stack available, 1 layout type, and this one is an internal facing. Let's take a look at the layout now. 506 square feet, 1 plus study, only 1 stack available. We are guesstimating that the starting price is about 1.13 million. Mid-floor level 20 unit will be going at about 1.18 million to 1.2 million. And the higher floor units will be around 1.27 to 1.28 million. That's our guesstimates. So if you look at the layout, the moment you come in from the front door, you will have the study here, which you can actually convert to storage or storeroom or a helper's room. But also if you are looking at a 1 plus study, likely you wouldn't have a helper that stays with you. So this area here can really be used as a study or used as a storeroom. Then when you walk in, you have your small little dining and you have your bathroom with Jack and Jill access. So if you do have guests that come over, they don't have to access your master bedroom to use your washroom. Other than that, the layout is actually pretty standard. One thing to note is that there are no windows all throughout the house except in the master bedroom and where the balcony is. So in this area of the house here, you would definitely need to turn on some lights.
Yeah, maybe a bit, most likely I think will be quite dark, right?
Yes.
Yeah. For those who want to buy to rent, let's take a look at the rental data in Clementi for the 1-bedroom units. You can see the average, the 1-bedroom rental is actually looking at about 3,000, 3,500, 3,600. So let's take it at 3,500. The rental yield will be actually about 3.5%, which I think is quite good for her 1 plus study.
So 3.5% is based on what purchase price?
3.5% I'm actually looking at taking an average of 1.2 million, since like it's from 1.13 to 1.18 to 1.27 for the higher floor. So for the mid floor, about average 1.2 million I'm taking as this price. So maybe if you are for lower floor, maybe the rental yield will be slightly better.
So for the 2-bedroom units, there are a total of 179 units available, 5 different layout types, and there are 2 different facings available.
We have the 2-bed, 1 bath. We have 2 different stacks, stack 11 and stack 7. So the stack 11 is the inner facing stack, and the stack 7 is the outer facing, which is the AYE facing. So let's take a look at the layout first. So stack 11, once come in the tuck-in kitchen. Yeah, then we have a dining, then we have a dumbbell layout of the master and the bedroom too. And just that this one is a one bath, so we have a Jack and Jill over here for our master room, and for the bedroom too can enter from here as well. So size-wise, layout I think is pretty good because it's actually dumbbell, so actually save a lot of space. And with the tuck-in kitchen, I think most of the buyers now are actually very into this layout. But just to take note that for 2 bed 1 bath, right, is also because it's actually in the middle stack, so there's no windows in the toilet and kitchen. Stack 7, so same, also is a dumbbell layout and with a tuck-in kitchen. Just that a little bit difference is that for this stack 7, right, it might actually have Julia, you can see, right, it's actually a little more privacy because you can see that the room are more like staggered compared to, like, you know, this one that is like door face door. So you want that more privacy, right? Maybe stack 7 will be slightly more privacy because, like, you know, standing here, right, maybe you cannot see this room so much. While compared to, like, you know, standing here, you can actually see both of the rooms already.
So moving on to the 2 bed 2 bath layout, we have stack 14 and stack 3. Big difference is that now for stack 14, it faces AYE, and for stack 3, it faces the internal facing, which is Nan Hua High, as you already know. You come in here from the entrance, you have your kitchen, and from your kitchen, once you're done cooking, you can immediately serve your food at the dining, and you have your master bedroom here, and then your other bedroom here. For your bathroom, it's also a Jack and Jill style. So if you decide to buy this, you can always rent out to 2 different parties because this can be used as a master bedroom as well. For stack 3, same thing. You enter, you have a kitchen which is tucked in at the side. You have your dining, and you have your 2 bedrooms which are a dumbbell layout. But one thing, the main difference is where the dining is located. So for stack 3, you can see that the dining faces
The toilet.
the toilet door. And for stack 14, it's actually next to the entrance of the master bedroom and just directly opposite the kitchen. So in terms of functionality, I would say that stack 14 is definitely a lot more functional, whereas for stack 3, for me, I'm not really a fan of the dining facing the door of the
restroom.
toilet.
And also must remember this, that because the toilet, right, have no windows.
Oh, yes.
Yes. So this is something that, you know, when you are having a dinner and someone is at the toilet, yeah, so I think maybe not so pleasant.
Yes.
Yeah.
So for 2 bedroom units, unfortunately, because it is not located at the corner, it's in between 2 other units, there are no windows in the toilet for ventilation. But of course, there's a ventilator fan. But for those who are a little bit more particular, Stack 14's layout will definitely be better.
Moving on to the last layout of the 2 bedroom types, we have the 2 plus study. It consists of 807 square feet. So when we come in, we have actually the kitchen tucked on one side, and as we can see, it's also a dumbbell layout on one bedroom on each side, just that you have an additional study at the corner. Let's now take a look at the price range between the 700 square feet and the 807 square feet. So for the 2 bed 2 bath, right, the price is from 1.54 to 1.615, and the higher floor 1.7. So for 2 plus study, right, for additional study, right, the lower floor we are looking at 1.775 to 1.85 for the mid floors and 1.935 million for the higher floors. So the golden question, do you think it's worth it?
Before I answer that question, let's analyze the 3 bedroom layouts, and I'll leave you to answer that question yourself. Whether is it worth it paying $235,000 for an additional study?
Because I'm sure that a lot of buyers or the investors are actually, they're looking at the 2 bedrooms, right? They will actually rent it out 600 to 700 square feet, which is the 2 bed 1 bath. Okay, the average rental is about 4,000, 4,200, 4,300, while the bigger bedroom types, which is a 2 bed 2 bath, right, is looking at about average 4,500. So let's do a comparison. Look at the 2 bed 1 bath first. The price is looking at is about 1.35 million, the 2.5% interest. The average mortgage is about $4,053. And for the 1.54 million, which is our 2 bed 2 bath, the monthly mortgage, right, is about 4,623. So you can see that the difference, right, is actually another $570 more. For the smaller units, is about 4,200. The bigger units, the rental yield is about 4,500. So with an additional $300, right, I was I would say that it's actually not really enough to cover the 570 additional mortgage. And for the cash outlay wise, for the smaller 2-bed 1-bath, the cash outlay of the 5%, right, we're looking at about 67,500, and the 2-bed 2-bath is about 77,000, so it's about $10,000 more.
So for $10,000 more for your upfront outlay, as well as a $570 more every month, you get an additional bathroom. For the 3-bedroom, there are a total of 108 units available, and they are split into either 3-bedroom or the 3-bedroom premium, and there are 2 layout types, and they are all inward facing. We have 2 stacks, stack 4 and stack 9. Both are inward facing. This layout here is pretty standard, all bedrooms tucked on one side, and it's very, very efficient for a 3-bedroom layout. Very, very efficient layout. You come in, you have privacy. Even if you leave your front door open, someone were to stand here, they're not able to look in. You have a tucked-in kitchen with windows, and then you come in, and then all your bedrooms tucked on one side. And one thing to note is that even for this small bedroom type, for the 3-bedroom, all the bathrooms come with windows as well for perfect ventilation.
We have the bigger size of the 3-bedroom type, which is 1023 square feet. It's also facing the inner facing, which is north side. So coming in, we have the dry kitchen compared to the 926 square feet layout. Right, we have a dry kitchen where the smaller layout do not have. They just have a close-up kitchen. And the dry kitchen here, something that you can note is that we have this water dispensing point here, which I think now most of our household will use a water dispenser at the dry kitchen side. It also comes with the study over here for this 1023 square feet. So because you can see that it's open, it allows you to convert it into a helper's room or even a storeroom. And something I like is that there's a little dumbbell. 1 bedroom is tucked at this side.
I think nowadays, many homeowners, you don't have the habit of leaving your doors open.
Yeah.
So this also could be a suitable layout. But if you're the type that leaves your door open, then just note that if for this layout type, if you were to leave your door open, if anybody walks by, at one glance, they'll be able to see your entire common living area in the house.
A good thing it's a corner unit, so not many people walk past you.
True.
Yeah.
So just now I asked you to hold on to the question of whether paying 200 over 1,000 for an additional study for the 2-bed 2-bath was worth it. So let's see for the 3-bedroom unit. For the 3-bedroom, smaller layout is the 926, larger layout is the 1023. Differences between the two is for the 1023, it comes with a study which can be converted as a storeroom or a helper's room, and it can be accessed from the kitchen itself or from the corridor in the unit. We're looking at a starting price of 2.037 million for the smaller unit type, stacks 4 and stacks 9. And for stack 2, we're looking at 2.251. And the premium or the additional jump for this is 213,000, 213. And for 213,000, you get an additional study, a dry kitchen, a yard, and a yard toilet. Whereas compared to the 2-bed 2-bath just now, the increase from a 2-bed 2-bath to a 2-bed 2-bath plus study, you're paying about 235,000 just for an additional study. So my question is now back to you. Which one do you think is more worth it? Angela, do you think that at this price point is a lot higher than the resale market right now in Clementi?
So these are the available units in the market. There's Clavon and Park Clementi's, right? You can see that the per square feet is already looking at 2001, 2003, 2002 for Park Clementi's. Because the per square feet is so close to Elta, our estimated launching price, right? Give you an example. Will you buy a brand new iPhone 16 or will you buy a second-hand iPhone 16 for the same price?
Of course, buy the brand new one lah. Moving on to the 4 and 5 bedroom units. So before we go into that, if you've watched my previous video, I will share with you my checklist about what people look out for when they're buying a 4 or 5 bedroom. Firstly, it may need to cater for multi-generational living. You may have grandparents, parents, and children, as well as a helper staying in the house. That's number one. The second thing is that the house needs to have a grand feeling. Like the moment you walk in, you need to feel that it's a big house, because you're comparing 4 to 5 bedrooms. It's something that you can find in a landed home. But for people to pay $3 to $4 million for a 4 or 5 bedroom, it needs to have a grand feeling when you step into it.
Yeah.
the next thing which many developers actually take for granted is proper bedrooms. So we've seen quite a number of 4-bedroom developments in Singapore where you have some of the bedrooms in the unit itself not able to fit a queen bed. So that's not really very functional.
Yeah.
So for a 4 to 5 bedroom unit today, it needs to have proper bedrooms. And of course, it needs to be comfortable enough for long-term own stay. Because as we shared just now, for Clementi and for many of these mature estates which are located in the education cluster, people usually stay for 10 to 12 to 17 years. So it's for long-term own stay, so it needs to be very, very comfortable. So is Elta's layout going to be comfortable? Let's see. For the 4-bedroom, we have a total of 143 bedrooms available. 4 different layout types: 4-bedroom, premium, 4-bedroom dual key, as well as 4-bedroom plus study. And we have the two different facings available.
First, let's take a look at the smallest one, which is 1184 square feet. So once we come in, we have a small foyer here, right, which allows more privacy of the unit itself. And then we have the dry kitchen and wet kitchen and the yard area. And inside the kitchen, we also have a store here as well. Just that a little thing that I feel that is like, I mean, my personal preference that this living dining, right, is actually more of a portrait layout compared to normal landscape layout, which some people prefer Yeah, but one good thing is that all the rooms are tucked at one side. So like when even you have guests over here, right, so your rooms, all this will not be actually disturbed. This 3-bedroom, right, will be sharing this common bathroom. Families, right, then maybe you will have some morning rush in the morning for the toilet as well. Moving to the 1313 square feet, the main difference, right, actually between the 1184 square feet and the 1313 square feet, right, is that the main thing is that this 1313 square feet have a junior master, room compared to the 1184 square feet. But looking at the entrance of the unit, right, is actually less privacy compared to this foyer. You have a more privacy for the unit itself. And same thing, you also come with the dry kitchen, the wet kitchen, and also the yard area as well. And the difference is that instead of a store, here is actually a home shelter.
Actually, it's more or less the same thing, right, Angela? Because all the walls in this development cannot be hacked.
Yeah, so I also don't know why they put a home shelter and some put store. Both can actually act as like a storeroom or a helper's room.
If you're more concerned and you're scared that Singapore gets bombed, get the 1313 square feet one with the home shelter. You'll be very, very safe.
I think that 1313, the junior master, I think is a very good idea for multi-generation living. Like example, if you have your parents who are staying with you, you don't need to stage who to give the master bedroom to.
What's really special about the layouts here, right? Allow me to just zoom in, is that first you have a water dispenser point which is already done up for you, and the next thing is that you have this thing here called an ADR, which is very rare, and I'm very, very sure that you haven't seen this in other developments. So what the developer is providing is an automated drying rack. So you don't need to hang your clothes
at the
balcony. You have a yard area here, a proper yard area for you, and with an automated drying rack for you to dry your clothes. Likewise, same also for the bigger layout type, you do have a yard here with automated drying rack.
Thoughtful things that the developer have done for the buyers.
So for the 4-bedroom, we also have at 1313 square feet the dual key layout. This dual key layout, I must say that the developers nowadays are starting to know how to design dual key layouts. I've seen a lot of dual key layouts in the market today which are readily available, but the layout just something missing. Like, the studio is just not big enough, and there's not much of a common area in the living and the dining. It's very, very cramped. So for this, we don't have a lot of wasted space. The moment you come in, you have a foyer. This side of the house is your studio area. So you also comes with a balcony. So that's really, really interesting because this whole area here, you can be very, very self-sufficient. You have a kitchenette, you have a bedroom, and you have windows here, and you also have your balcony here, which means a lot of light is entering into this area of the house. You also have your kitchenette area. If you're using this as a separate studio, it's great. If you are using it as a junior master or area for the next, like for grandparents to stay, is also very, very self-sufficient, because in the middle of the night, if you need anything, you can straight away get it from here, and you don't have to go to the kitchen to get like water or to take out food or medication whatsoever.
Yeah.
There's also space for a fridge here.
Then, Julia, I have some idea. No? So since actually they have a balcony here, right, you can actually convert this one, like, to a super mega, to the, the master bedroom, right? This balcony, nowadays a lot of people like to do zip check, right? You can always zip up this area actually to become a study or like, an office area as well.
Yeah, I agree. So you do this, it's really a studio together with like this additional balcony area here, where there's so many possibilities. You can have a dining set here, or you can, like what Angela said, like a work from home office.
I think it's very, very nice layout for like, you seldom see studio right, with a balcony inside.
Yes.
Yeah.
If there's a balcony, it's either the balcony is very, very gigantic, or the balcony is very small. You can't really do much with it. Moving on to the rest of the house. You come in, you have your dry kitchen and your wet kitchen. You have your store. Dry kitchen also comes with a water dispenser point. And your yard also comes with automated drying rack. You also have your yard toilet here. This store can be used as a proper store, or it can be used as a helper's room if required. Then you come in. This area of the house here is really a proper 3-bed, 2-bath. I would say this layout is really, really excellent. Then we have our next 4-bedroom layout, which is the largest one that you have, which stands at 1507 square feet. This faces AYE. You come in from the entrance, fully private. It's also a corner unit. Even if you leave your door open, no one is able to look at the rest of the house. Come in here. This also is a long portrait layout. However, you can see that even on the plan itself, it's pretty wide, because it's able to fit an 8-seater dining table with space for you to walk on both sides. You have your dry and wet kitchen, and for this layout type, it's a household shelter instead of a storeroom. Again, the walls here are all not hackable. You have windows in your kitchen, which means very nice, bright daylight coming through. Don't have to turn on the lights during the day. You have a study here, which can be converted into a helper's room or an additional small little mini bedroom. Because you can see that the width of this is actually bigger than the bedroom here. So definitely you'll be able to fit a bed here, a single bed here. Then you have all your bedrooms tucked on one side. Bedroom 3 and bedroom 2 share bathroom 2 with a Jack and Jill entrance. You have bathroom 3, which is also Jack and Jill, but this one will be your common bathroom for your guests to use. So essentially, right, Angela, what you can see is all the common bedrooms in this unit type, they all have an ensuite bath.
Yeah, so no morning rush.
No need to
snatch
fight.
toilet. Yeah, so I think this is very ideal for families that have like more people staying, like in the whole household, like 3 children, that type, all morning rush, all need to go school at the same time. I think this is really very, very useful.
Another thing to note is that the master bedroom is very spacious. So you can see that you have wardrobe space here, you also have wardrobe space here, as compared to the master bedroom in the other layout type. The master bedroom is a little bit smaller, but even so, it's still a very good size.
So Julia, coming to the both 1313 square feet of the 4-bedroom types, right? Which will you choose?
So stack 5 and stack 12, the main difference is stack 5 is the dual key and it faces AYE. Stack 12 is the one which faces Nan Hua High and it's the north facing one. So let's assume that they will both start at the same price. I would say that the dual key layout is really, really superior as compared to the other one, which is at stack 12. So if we look at stack 12, main thing is that we have a junior master here with an ensuite toilet, and these 2 bedrooms share this bath here. Whereas for this dual key layout, we have one giant
Master room.
You can call it a master bedroom or you can call it a junior master. We have one here, and then these two bedrooms share this common bathroom, and then you have your final master bedroom, which is here. In this dual key layout type, you have very good selection of either taking this as your master bedroom or taking this as your master bedroom, and either way, it still gives you a lot of space, and you have basically two giant master bedrooms in this house. Whereas for this layout type, it is one master bedroom and one junior master. So let's see how much you need to pay between the unit types in the 4-bedroom.
So first, for the 1184 square feet, you want to go for the bigger one with the 1313 square feet, right? There will be actually a jump of 276,000 based on the lower floors pricing. So from 1313 square feet, right, we will jump to the biggest, like the 4+ study for 1507 square feet, right? We will need an additional of 425,000 for additional study and more space. So from the 1184 square feet, from the smallest 4-bedroom to the biggest 4-bedroom 4+ study 1507, there will be a jump of 711,000 for additional study, a common living space, a bigger common living space, and one more bathroom.
Angela, do you think it's worth it?
I think 1313 size is actually a good size. It's already a very ideal size because it comes with junior master, the master, and I think it's quite sufficient for a family of 5 or 6.
So I guess for the stack 13, if you are in the market for a 5-bedroom unit, you may want to consider the 1507 square feet, as there's a possibility of converting this study here into a mini bedroom. If we were to compare stack 8, stack 5 and stack 13, just now what we compared was stack 8, stack 12 and stack 13. Now for the same size, for the 1313 square feet, we are comparing the dual key layout. So for the dual key layout, the additional amount that you're paying, right, which is 276,000, you're actually getting an additional giant master bedroom, a kitchenette and a balcony. Whereas compared to just now, that increment of price that you're paying of 276,000, you're getting an additional toilet. So if you're considering between 1184 square feet, which faces AYE, or the 1313 square feet, which faces Nan Hua High, or this 1313 square feet, which also faces AYE, the price difference that you're looking at and the value that you're getting is a little bit different. For the dual key, you get an additional giant master bedroom, kitchenette and balcony. For the inner facing, which is definitely going to be quieter, the premium that you pay, the extra 276,000, will only get you the additional toilet and additional quiet. What I want to compare now, right, is the 3-bedroom premium versus the 4-bed dual key. Why I'm doing that is because the 3-bedroom premium's layout is very similar to the 3-bedroom side of the dual key. So for the 3-bedroom premium, we are looking at about 2.251 million starting from. And for the dual key layout, we're looking at 2.88 million starting from. So you can see, just as a recap, you have a study here, which can be used as a helper's room or additional storage space. For the dual key layout, we have a storeroom here, which can be used as a store or an additional helper's room. So for the increase in premium, you're actually paying $629,000 extra for a studio unit. Compare this to this. In terms of the additional monthly mortgage that you need to pay for a $2.88 million house versus a $2.251 million house, you're looking at a top-up of $1,864 per month monthly. This is interest rate of about 2.5% per annum. So for a top-up of $1,800 every month, you get one more studio unit. So you get to own 2 properties for the price of 1.
Actually, if you want, I think you can easily rent out this as like a studio. So as we mentioned earlier on, right, for Clementi, right, 1-bedroom is looking at average about 3,500. So maybe studio, maybe it's like smaller, maybe 2008. Yeah.
So let's say 2008.
Yeah.
And if you have a monthly extra mortgage of $1,864 every month, can I say that it's roughly you get $1,000 of additional income every month?
And your 3-bedroom, to just note in mind that this 3-bedroom is still very, very proper.
So yeah, you actually do have a proper this is the equivalent of a 3-bedroom premium unit in Elta. And for a top up of 1,864 every month, you get an additional studio space. So I think that this one is actually a layout that you should really, really look into. So let's see what's available in Clementi right now in the resale market for a 4-bedroom.
Okay, we have take Clavon as our example. So their 4-bedroom premium is total 1,562 square feet. So coming in they actually have a private lift. So comparing to Elta we do not have private lift for any of our bedroom types. So once we come out from the private lift, we have the foyer and we have a dry kitchen over here. And one good thing is a landscape living and dining compared to our portrait layout. Then over here we actually have a wet kitchen, and this one is the back door, which are for the delivery. So the home shelter is also tucked inside the wet kitchen. Over here, we actually have a junior master, and the master room and the 2-bedroom is over here. They still have a small study area. Clavon, I think this layout is very nice. So most likely will be a competitor for Elta.
So let's see how much people are paying for Clavon now. 2.9, 3.3, 3.38. And we're looking at a starting price for Elta at around 3.3 as well. So if you're able to enter into Elta at 3.3 something, I would say that it's very, very safe because these are already the transacted prices in today's pricing, and this is something which is a little bit older. So for something which is newer, if you're able to enter into the $3.3 million range for a 4-bedroom unit in Elta, it is something which is still very, very safe. Only one step.
Okay, coming to the 5-bedroom, we have a total of 35 units in the whole development, and there's only one layout type, one stack, and it's actually facing the AYE.
1,776 square feet, we're looking at a starting price of 3.09 million. Entrance here, it's not a landscape layout, but you can see that it's actually very wide. There's space for 2 sofas in the living room, and you have an 8-seater dining table here. Coming here, you have a kitchen island. You have your water dispenser point. Of course, your automated drying rack is found in your yard. You have a utility room and a household shelter. So you can see developer understands and they know that big families are going to be living in the 5-bedroom. You definitely need one for storage and another for probably your helper to stay in, or for you to just store more of your barang-barang. So walk in, you have your junior master tucked on one side. You have a powder room here for your guests. All the other bedrooms are tucked here. Bedroom 4 and bedroom 5 share this bathroom. You have a junior master here with an ensuite. You have your master, very spacious as well. Cabinets on both sides. Walk into your master. So this bedroom has an ensuite here. This bedroom has an ensuite here. This bedroom also has an ensuite here. So this layout is actually excellent.
So you realize actually there's 3 master rooms here, you see, Julia. And actually the good thing, like you mentioned, all the rooms are all ensuite.
So this is really suitable for multi-generational living. It gives you that grand feeling the moment you come in. Bedrooms are definitely proper and is also suitable for long-term own stay. Let's take a look at the available 5-bedroom units in the resale market in Clementi.
So for the resale, we will look at we'll take Clavon as our example. Total they have 1,690 square feet compared to Elta is 1,776 square feet.
Elta is under the harmonized scheme. So for 1,776,
we are actually much bigger than Clavon.
So Elta is about 5 to 8% larger
than Clavon.
Wow.
Yeah. So let's take a look at Clavon's layout. So for Clavon, they also come with a private lift. So once actually you come up from the private lift, you'll be able to see a landscape living and dining area with a junior master tucked on one side. And in the wet kitchen, they also have a home shelter. But compared to Elta itself, Elta not only have the store and also have the utility room for more more storage space and miscellaneous. And coming to the rooms, we can see that these 2 rooms will be sharing this common bathroom with these 3 rooms, is actually sharing 1 toilet only. Compared to Elta, all the rooms are ensuite itself. But their master bedroom are also equally big.
So basically, if you're looking for a unit with a private lift, and that's something that's really important to you, Clermont is a development to look at. But if you're like some of our buyers who feel that a private lift is a waste of space, this is really up to personal preference.
Yeah.
You do not need a private lift, then you can consider Elta, which is bigger, newer, and with a more efficient layout because the bedrooms all come with ensuite toilets.
So in the resale market now, people are already asking for 3.8 million to 4 million. So if we can get something in Elta for 3.907 million or something below 4 million, right, I think we are very safe.
Cool. So the biggest question is, can future buyers afford a unit in Elta? Future buyers who want to buy a unit in Elta will not be buying a unit today. These upgraders will need Elta to be completed and ready for move-in before they are able to make their purchase. These are your $1 million flat transactions in Singapore. And we are focusing more on the Bukit Timah, Clementi and Queenstown area because we feel that these areas have a higher likelihood of wanting to move towards Clementi. So let's see. Clementi 4-room HDB flat owners, average purchase price 550, assuming they take a 75% loan. I know you can take an 80% loan, but let's assume that they take a 75% loan. 75% loan is 412k. In 12 years, they will have paid off approximately 77,000 with a balance loan of 329k. Assuming you sell off your property at $1.3 million, and we already know in Clementi itself, you have your $1 million HDBs and they are around the $1.3 million mark.
It's also actually a lot, it's actually along the Clementi Avenue 1 area.
Yes.
Yeah.
Your expected sale proceeds will be about 941,000, and these expected sale proceeds already take into account agent fees, conveyancing. So with this expected sale proceeds, you are looking at being able to afford $3.2 million. However, if you are able to sell your 4-room HDB flat at about 1.5 million, you're looking at a sale proceeds of 1.136 million. And with sale proceeds of 1.136 million, you're able to afford a property of 3.85 million without touching a single cent of your cash savings. Next question. Elta, we all know, 2 views. You're either viewing the inside, which is blocked by HDBs, or outside facing, which is the AYE, which the view is definitely excellent, but it comes with super high highway noise. Can units with such noise make profits?
Okay, we have drawn some data to share with you all. Okay, let's take a look at low floor. For example, for Park Clementis, as we know, Park Clementis is also very near to the AYE as well. Let's take a look at the facing between AYE facing and non-AYE facing. How have they performed? So take for example, both units at level 5. One is AYE facing, their purchase price was at 1.12, and for the non-AYE was at 1.152. So they both transacted right at 1.38 and 1.45. So at the end, right, okay, the AYE facing actually make 258,000, and where the non-AYE facing right profit about 298. So we can conclude that the non-AYE facing unit, right, maybe the inner facing right actually profit 15% more. So why?
So for the lower floor units, typically you have a better view. You have a lot more greenery view. So buyers, when you're compared to an AYE facing at level 5, the view that you get is really off the road, and you don't get a very, very nice view from the unit itself. Yeah. So in terms of view, the non-AYE facing view at a lower floor will be better. So for the non-AYE facing unit, even though you enter at a higher entry price, your exit price is also higher because the view is better.
Now let's take a look at high floor units. Okay, so for high floor units, right, we have take Clement Canopy as an example. For the AYE facing, right, at level 20 over floors, right, the entry price was at 1.441, and they managed to sell it off at 1.75 million. making a profit of about 300,000. And the non-AYE facing, let's take a look. The entry price was at 1.519 and they managed to sell it off at 1.714 and make a profit about 221. So surprisingly, see that for AYE facing, for high floor, right, it made 39.8% more. As we know that Clement Canopy, right, is just next to Elta, and AYE facing for high floor for this project actually make more profit.
You can see even from the entry price itself, for the AYE unit, it's a lower entry price, but your exit is at a higher exit. For the non-AYE facing, it's a higher entry price. However, in the resale market, because the view is not as good and at such a high level, the overall exit price is quite similar, but in terms of the profit that they make, the AYE facing unit profits 39.8% more.
And one more example is the very high floors for Clement Canopy for the AYE facing and non-AYE facing. So from here where we also can see that AYE facing actually profit 12.5% more than the non-AYE facing.
Well, for me personally, I definitely would not choose a unit where I can hear the road, but the data speaks for itself. But of course, you know, if you're buying for own stay, there are many more other factors which go into your decision making. And of course, you are not only going to be just focused on the profit, because actually for both units, there are profits to be made. It's just one makes more profit than the other. There are other things such as like your quality of life and whether, you know, your tolerance for noise. These kind of things will play a role in your overall experience staying in the development itself.
Some people actually, they are okay with noise.
So we've come to the end of our analysis for Elta, and of course there are a lot more things such as price mapping, how the developer will be pricing the different units on launch day. We've already done the layout selection for you and the unit analysis. So if you do have any questions on Elta or any of the upcoming new launches or existing developments in the market, feel free to contact Angela or myself. Our contact details are below and we'll hear from you soon. Bye!